What's up, guys? Happy Monday. Amanda Nybert, registered dietitian, jumping on to continue my series on heart health in February, talking all about oils you should be eliminating in your diet in order to promote heart health. So hopefully you caught part one, part two. Talked a lot about my journey with high cholesterol and how it radically changed the way that I look at heart health and the way that I should be eating, specifically related to fat consumption. Talked a little bit about that in my last video, but I really want to elaborate on why I'm working with my monthly membership to encourage them to avoid seed oils, vegetable oils, highly processed oils that are high in omega-6 fatty acids, why that is our challenge for the month to come. So I think it's important to mention omega-6 fatty acids are essential to the body. We do need them. And I'm not talking about looking to eliminate nuts and seeds and pasture raised meats, which are good sources of omega-6. Because again, we need those in our diet. Where we're struggling right now is the ratio in which that we consume omega-6 to omega-3. Now, everyone knows that omega-3 fatty acids are help to reduce inflammation in the body, whereas high levels of omega-6 fatty acids actually increase inflammation in the body. Now, from a revolutionary standpoint, or an evolutionary standpoint, I should say, traditionally, we know that our ratio of 6 to 3 was 1 to 1 for a really long time. Now, in the 1930s, that ratio went to 8 to 1, okay? Not so great. Way more omega-6s to our omega-3 ratio. And from 1935 to 1985, that ratio went from 10 to 1. And then today, some research shows that our ratio can be anywhere from 20 to 1, and in some cases 25 to 1. And that's the problem. Okay, it is our overconsumption of omega-6 fatty acids, that unequal balance of 6 to 3 that's creating massive amount of inflammation in the body, in people. And you guys, you have to recognize over and over that the foundation to heart disease, diabetes, autoimmune conditions, arthritis, kind of any disease state that you're dealing with is inflammation. Anytime that you can work to reduce inflammation in your body, you're going to improve your heart health. You're going to manage your diabetes better. You're going to have less joint pain, so on and so forth. So you always hear me coming back to, this kind of inflammation, and that is why, okay? We know that diets high in 6, low in 3 spark inflammation. We know that diets low in 6, high in 3 reduce inflammation. So that's what we want to kind of focus on. Now, here's the deal. Again, I'm not concerned about nuts and seeds, but 70% of the omega-6 fatty acids that we consume in the United States come from vegetable oil, from margarine, from shortening, from the food, the oil that we fry our foods in. So if we can focus on reducing our consumption of soybean oil, of vegetable oil, canola oil, things like that, then we are making a huge impact in the amount of omega-6 fatty acids that we're consuming. So that's really why I created this challenge for my monthly membership. It's like, let's look at the products that we're using and let's see when we can make a healthier shift. We know that there's a strong correlation between societies that consume high amounts of omega-6 have a higher mortality of heart disease. Okay, so it's totally related. If we can simply reduce our ratio to 4 to 1, Okay, if we can get our ratio from 20 to 1, 15 to 1, 10 to 1 down to 4 to 1, we reduce our mortality by 70%. We reduce our risk of mortality by 70%. All right, and that's a huge step forward for your overall health and wellness. So again, looking at your ability to reduce your consumptions of these unhealthy oils can have a huge impact on your overall health. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about why, soybean and vegetable and, corn oil, these types of oils, canola oils, are so bad for you. Number one, the reasons why they are bad for you is from, again, an evolutionary perspective, okay? It used to be 1 to 1. Now it's upwards to 20 to 1, 25 to 1. That's not good. Eating industrial seed oils raises our omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acid ratios, which we know that there's health consequences to that. Industrial seed oils are super unstable and oxidize very easily, okay? So in order to make these oils, they come from soy, corn, cotton. Those are some traditional ones. The next step is they use really extremely high temperatures in order to bring the oils out of these seeds. And this causes the seeds to oxidize, creating byproducts that are really harmful for humans and animal health. Then the seeds are then processed with a petroleum-based solvent, such as hexane, to maximize the amount of oil that they can be extracted. Next, industrial seed oils use chemicals to deodorize the oils because they don't smell good, okay? They don't taste good, they don't smell good. So we use really high heat to extract the oil, which creates oxidation. We use petroleum-based solvents, hexane, chemicals that we don't want to eat in order to get even more oil out of it. And then we use deodorants to make it palatable. And all of these things create more inflammation and more oxidation, rancidity of these oils. Now, take it a step further. In the United States, we don't have any regulation on how often and how much these oils can be reheated over. So when we think about fast food and French fries and frying, the foods that you're eating, the oil becomes even worse for you over time the more it's heated and cooled and heated and cooled. Now, in Europe, they have regulations around these types of processes in, fast food or restaurants. Restaurants can only heat an oil so many times until it gets to a certain property, whereas in the United States, we heat the oil, we top it off, we keep heating the oil, we top it off. Sometimes oils are only completely changed out maybe once a week, maybe even less, and that makes it not good. So again, the less you can avoid, fast foods and fried foods when you're eating out is going to reduce your exposure to these unhealthy omega-6 oils, okay? So think about that. Focus on eating real food, read your labels, find what types of oils are in, the foods that you're eating. And here's the deal, guys, trust me, it's hard, okay? There's a reason why soybean oil is extremely profitable, because it's really cheap to use and it's in everything you eat, okay? It's in your healthy granola, it's in your healthy chips, it's in your unhealthy chips, it's in your unhealthy granola. So it's kind of everywhere. But the easiest place to start by reducing your omega-6 fatty acid intake is to first look at your condiments, all right? You'll find that they're heavily used in condiments like salad dressings, ketchups, mustards, mayos. So anytime that you can find a product that is made with, say, like avocado oil, all right, it's going to be a better choice. And I'm going to do another talk on condiments and kind of what to look for and what not to look for. But find a mayo that's made with, avocado oil, that's made with, coconut oil or olive oil, but don't be tricked, okay? And this is why it's important. So here's an olive oil mayo, all right? And see, they're trying to trick you here. Now, let's see, when you turn it over, you think, oh, Amanda said, get a mayo made with olive oil. So look, that one's made with olive oil. I'm going to grab it. But when you turn it around, the second ingredient is soybean oil. Okay, yes, it does have olive oil in it, but it also has the unhealthy soybean oil. So you want to look for products that, only contain the healthy fat. So don't let the manufacturers trick you into thinking that you're buying something that's good. Don't look at the labels. I'm going to show you the oil aisle in another video. And I was just flabbergasted at how much heart healthy claims are plastered all over these really unhealthy oils that we know are really bad for you. So again, you can't take what the label says. You've got to educate yourself on how to, know the difference between a good fat and a bad fat. So eat whole foods, eat foods that are high in omega-3 fatty acids. Look for foods with a better ratio of 6-3. For example, a lot of people don't realize almonds are 2,000 to 1 ratio of 6-3. So in 100 grams of almonds, the ratio is 2,000 to 1. That's not great, all right? Whereas in 100 grams of macadamia nuts, the ratio is 6 to 1. Okay, who eats a ton of almonds? I used to. Yes, until I read that stat. Brazilian nuts are 1,000 to 1. So walnuts and macadamia nuts are 6 to 1, 4 to 1. So those are kind of better choices. Avoid industrial seed oils. Stick with the olive oil, the coconut oil, the ghee. A lot of people asked about, Amanda, what if you're dairy free, when we were talking about butter, okay? So if you choose to be dairy free like me, I try to avoid cow dairy because of the inflammatory properties it has. Ghee, 99%, almost 100% of the inflammation is removed. So even if you have a true milk allergy, a lot of people can still tolerate ghee as a butter substitute. But when we make butter, 99% of the inflammatory properties are removed, and that's what makes butter so good for you, okay? Much better for you than those processed fake butters that are loaded with omega-6 oils. You want to stay away from those. So I got that question a lot. So it also says don't go overboard with nut flours, okay? So, using a ton of almond flour can really ramp up your omega-6 fatty acids. So a lot of people are gluten-free, and so they're looking for nut alternatives. So you'd be better off using like coconut flour or the kibasa flour. And then, load up on your omega-3 fatty acids. So think about that. I challenge you, again, it's not easy because omega-6 oils are in almost any processed food, any convenient food you're going to use. But start with your condiments, start with your sauces, start with the oils that you cook with. I use a lot of avocado oil in replace of canola oil. So if something calls for like vegetable oil, this is what I use. I cook with coconut oil, olive oil, butter. Those are the staples in my house. So think about making those small shifts. Reduce your consumption of omega-6 fatty acids to create a better balance, a better ratio. Aim for 4 to 1. That would be hard to do, but doing that alone reduces your risk for mortality up to 70%. So let me know what questions you have. I'll be back on helping you choose some condiments because that can be kind of tricky. I'm going to talk about the difference between high oleic sunflower oil, high oleic sapphire oil. I'll give you the lowdown. This has only 9%. When it's high oleic, it only has 9% omega-6 fatty acids, whereas traditional sunflower and safflower oil are much higher. So that's what makes it a better choice, okay? Progress, not perfection, okay? You don't come to me when you see me eating my bag salad on the go and say, Amanda, I thought you were going to get rid of those omega-6. What about that dressing? Yes, I'm going to make an effort to do that, but I'm never going to be perfect, all right? Because I would never expect that from you guys. So progress, not perfection. Heather asked, does coconut oil have a strong flavor? Not at all. Very mild. Never can taste the coconut flavor. So yeah, ask your questions in the comments below and I'll be happy to answer those. Happy heart health in February. Talk to you guys later. Oh, share this video with your friends and family so they can learn this information too. Talk to you soon. Bye. See you later.